3 new concept ships have been released. Crusader Industries Spirit. The Q&A is out as well. There are a few problems with these ships and a controversy I feel need to address in a video. Okay, first let's talk about the controversy with the ship stats being incorrect for the first few days of the concept sale. You would think, with how long CIG has been doing this, that the website and the brochure would be correct when the sales goes live, or at least proofread. The ship got fat, really fat, when the brochure was finally updated to have the correct stats. The Spirit was initially about the same size as the Cutlass or the Freelancer. Then the stats were updated to make the ship much larger, about the same size as the Mole. This bump in size has knock-ons to the viability of all the ships, but affects the C1 the most when compared to existing ships. So let's break down the ships, their pros, their cons. The 3 ships in the lineup: the C1 Freighter, the A1 Bomber, and the E1 Space Liner. First off, a positive. Art on the Spirit is very nice. I do like the Crusader Industries style. Has that very pleasant flying wing Dorito design that seems to be very popular with the developers. Problems with the C1 come in when compared to other ships that already exist in its price range. At 100 USD for War Bond or 110 for credit, puts the C1 very close to many multi-role freighters and transports. When price, stats, size, and components are put against the Freelancer and the Cutlass, I just don't know why anyone would want the C1 other than for its aesthetics. It's a concept ship, so you won't be able to fly it for a while yet. There's a chance that COSU will produce something in the Spirit, Freelancer, Cutlass weight class before the Spirit becomes flyable. So you may be compelled to upgrade your Spirit to something else at that time. The C1 lags behind when compared specifically to the Freelancer. Spirit only has one of all the internal components at size 2. 2 size 3 guns to the wings, 2 size 2 guns mounted to remote turret on the nose, 2 size 4 missile racks on the wings, a size 3 tractor beam just over the rear entrance, a max crew of 2, pilot and co-pilot, does have accoutrements for both crew according to the Q&A, 2 beds, a shower, toilet, and meal prep area, all in a cross-section of 46.5 meters long by 43.5 meters wide and 10 meters tall, significantly larger than the Freelancer Max. All of that with only 48 SCU cargo capacity. This ship is officially slated to be able to carry the Tumbler Cyclones and smaller vehicles. Compared to that to the Freelancer's loadout, with size 2 components, 1 extra shield generator, and a cooler compared to the C1, size 3 guns mounted to turrets on the sides of the ship, with a size 4 and a size 3 missile mount on each wing. A single defensive turret covers the rear with 2 size 2 guns, no tractor beam or artillery mount on the Freelancer, maximum crew of 4, pilot, co-pilot, engineer, and an assistant. Beds for each person, combo shower, toilet, and a meal prep area, 66 SCU cargo capacity, can carry Tumbler Cyclones and smaller, can almost fit a Grey Cat Rock. Very, very tight fit for that Grey Cat Rock. All in a cross-section of 38 meters long by 23.5 meters wide and 9.5 meters tall. Freelancer Max is even better with a 38 meter long by 36 meter wide by 9.5 meter tall, and it has 120 SCU cargo capacity. The Spirit C1 is a massive ship for what little it does. Compared to the Freelancer and the Freelancer Max, lower cargo capacity, less component redundancy, less shield hit points and regen with the current gameplay stats. According to the Q&A, the Spirit is going to be fast to make up for the lack of shields, armor, and weapons. With the eventuality of Master Mode we saw at CitizenCon this year, I am doubtful that the extra speed will be helpful compared to extra shields in a rear turret of the Freelancer. Larger cross-section means you're going to need larger hangars and a prepared landing surface on planets. Constellation-sized hangars looking at the webpage. Having a turret that covers the rear arc is extremely useful to cover retreats for civilian freighters, which the C1 lacks, but the Freelancer has. Unless CIG intends the C1 to be able to dogfight, with only a single size 2 shield and an NVIDIA 400 series cross-section, I would not recommend it. Now on to the Spirit C1 versus the Cutlass Black. While the Cutty isn't a cargo ship per se, it does carry cargo and vehicles. Great firepower for its size. I'm just going to keep my comparisons to the Cutlass Black since other Cutties don't compare to the Spirit lineup. Cutty is 29 meters long by 26.5 meters wide by 10 meters tall, considerably more compact than the C1 Spirit. Though it does have roughly the same internal components, except it has an extra cooler. The 2 ships have completely different mission profiles. The Spirit is a freighter, while the Cutlass Black is supposed to be something similar to a commerce raider, a support ship for pirates. As a result, the Cutlass' firepower is vastly superior to the Spirit's. 4 size 3 guns for the pilot, 2 size 3 on the turret, 6 size 4 missile pylons, and a dinky size 1 tractor beam above the rear door. If the Cutlass Black had lips and lungs, it would laugh at the Spirit. For some reason, the Spirit's cargo capacity is very close to the same as the Cutlass Black's. While the Cutty has the ability to squeeze in 3 Grey Cat rocks, comfortably fits 2, the Spirit can't hold a single one according to the Q&A. C1's only slated to carry Cyclones and smaller. The 2 ships are very close in cargo capacity as well, the Cutty with 46 SU and the Spirit with 48. But the Cutty Black has more egress options with a rear ramp with a large entrance that can easily handle medium vehicles, just like your mom. Also, there's 2 side doors for quick loading and unloading. The Spirit C1 only has a rear ramp, no second entrances according to the Q&A. I can't overstate just how much a ship's cross-section plays into success as a viable combat platform. The relatively large hull of the A1 combined with a single size 2 shield gen is going to make it squishier than a Cutlass Black. No additional defensive mechanisms besides a rear turret with 2 size 2 cannons. No E-War suite like the Vanguard Sentinel, no stealth coating on the hull like a Aegis Eclipse, no extra armor like the Ares Inferno. I doubt this thing will have enough good stats and ammo to be a dogfighter. With 2 size 3 guns on the wings, 2 size 2 guns on the chin turret, and 1 size 4 missile rack on each wing, it doesn't carry enough firepower to be threatening to aerospace targets. Though it may be fast enough to boom and zoom, drop its payload and run, but good luck hitting things at top speeds. No component redundancy, unlike the Vanguard Warden, which has 2 of everything except a quantum drive. If you're in atmosphere taking fire, shields go down and power plant cooler wings come off, you're gonna crater. The A1 will have to get into gravity to bomb targets. If there's gravity, there's probably an atmosphere as well. I doubt the A1 will have much speed and maneuverability advantage while under Earth-like conditions because the Xbox-sized cross-section of the ship. The bombs are going to be weaker than the size 10s of the A2. With the effects of wind on dispersion, you're going to be lucky to land a hit on a stationary target unless you get low and slow. Getting low and slow means you're going to be even more vulnerable to ground-based anti-air. As with real-life aircraft with gravity-powered, high-explosive bombs, they're not very effective at high altitudes unless you use a lot of them. The A1 has 10 shots. You're probably going to have to resupply frequently to successfully destroy a target. Combine the ease of hitting larger targets with relatively light shielding, the A1 is going to be vulnerable to focus fire. I don't think it's a good idea to escort the A1 to the target you're trying to bomb. It's a better idea to achieve air superiority first, then send it in. If a ballista counters an A2, then it sure counters an A1. Why not just take a gunship at this point? Most gunships in Star Citizen have the ability to deploy troops, vehicles, and lend fire support to those disembarked assets. I'm looking at you, Anvil Valkyrie. Or just get an A2. Not actually buy one from the web store. 750 USD is a terrible price, but the in-game cost of 5.5 million credits isn't a bad deal. The A2 is tougher, has more boom in its bombs. It's a gunship, it's a transport, it's a dropship, it's a cargo ship. It's just a better ship. And the A2 is also too big to fit into other ships. Enough negativity, how about some positivity? I like the E1. Good art, good roll, good gameplay balance. The E1 is a perfect passenger space liner for high security space. Okay weapons with self-defense in mind. Can't go looking for trouble, but won't be bullied by any noob in a starter ship. Good speed for running away or for extending combat long enough for backup to arrive. I can guess how NPC passenger missions would play out. Elite Dangerous has something similar, where passengers will make requests for the trip, like seeing ice geysers or asteroid belts. Some passengers will have requirements, like not getting scanned. I can imagine that Star Citizen will do the same for the passenger missions. I really can't be negative about the E1. It's the best variant out of the 3. To wrap things up, I have some suggestions for CIG on some balance changes they could put onto the Spirit to make them a little more palatable in my eyes. For the C1, I would recommend more cargo capacity to offset the awful components and the NVIDIA 400 series huge cross-section. The C1 definitely feels like it needs more than 48 SCU. It feels like it needs something a bit more than the base Freelancer, something above 66 SCU, maybe something more towards the Constellation, 96 SCU. That way you do have an interesting trade-off between lightly shielded, but it's fast and it does carry a lot of cargo, but it doesn't have the weaponry to really do much with that, or it's more defensively minded. I feel like the rear turret needs to actually have weapons on it instead of just a tractor beam. I would recommend more of a tractor beam weapon combo. Those 2 suggestions right there, I think, would add interesting trade-offs between the C1 Spirit, the Freelancer, and the Cutlass, without making the Spirit really the best ship to choose in that situation. As for the A1 really needs additional survivability built into the hull. Stealth, E-War for jamming sensors, extra armor, just one of those things would go a long way to help the ship out. I would go with stealth since the Spirit is the same name as the American Stealth Bomber, the B-2 Spirit. Other than that, I would add a 3rd seat to the ship. That way you can have both turrets manned and have a pilot, or you can have a pilot, a gunner, and a bombardier at the same time. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm gods. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Live on Twitch most days, and if you want any stream updates or YouTube updates, you can check out the Twitter as well. But again, thank you so much.